So we're going to be boring and we're going to talk economics today. More specifically, we're going to talk about the universal income or universal base income. Now, first things first, this is just my opinion as a blue-collared, middle-class, general member of the population. I am going to look at it through basic eyes. I'm not an economist. I don't fully understand global economy and all that because there's a lot of it that I look at and I see it as fear-mongering and, twisting the words to basically keep people down and keep them under the foot of the current system. A little conspiracy chit-chat, but enough with that. Universal income to me is a pretty simple concept. Everybody, whether you make $1 million a year or whether you make $11,000 a year, everybody gets this check every month. So it is more or less a money laundering scheme for the government. We pay our taxes, the government gets that money, then they give us money back, which they tax, and then it's just a circle. The money just circulates constantly. And when I look at it as somebody from the middle class, the more disposable income I have, the more money I'm going to spend. If I'm not constantly worried about debt or worried about bills, I'm going to spend more money into my own country's economy. Not to mention, I will have money to travel to other countries and spend money in their economies. So I don't see how this is an issue. And now you're going to get people that are going to call you a statist or call you a communist. And that's fine. That's just ignorance. That's how it is. As somebody who identifies as more or less a socialist, I am not a statist in any sense of the word. I don't trust the government. I will rarely say the government is doing a fantastic job, but I do realize that in this current world that we live in, government and government intervention is a necessary evil for the time being. For people to not be starving to death, for people to not be living in thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars of debt, there needs to be something that changes. People should live in at least some relative security, and I think a universal income is the better way of doing it. You're going to have people that are going to say, well, this just gives another branch of government and another branch of federal funding that we can't spend money on, and it's going to raise taxes and this and that. But I have to argue the fact that having a universal income means, quite literally, the government can cut the welfare side of the government. They can cut the insurance or the unemployment insurance section of the government. They can cut the disability section of the government. They can cut the pension section of the government, which in turn would open up more of the private sector for people that want to spend this extra money on their pension or on their disability claims. So you shut down 5 branches of government and open up 1. Tax rates don't need to change drastically. They pretty much stay the same. It's just the reallocation of money into this now universal income. Now, I'm not an economist, so I don't know the type of impact this would have in the grand scheme of things, but I look at it as the majority of the population. I'm middle class. We are the majority of the population. And I do know that if I didn't have to live every month paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, if I knew there was $800, $900 coming in every month so that I could take care of my water bill and my phone bill and my property tax, then I'm going to have more disposable income from my earned wages, which I can in turn spend on my country's economy. And also, potentially, I'd be able to travel to other countries and boost their economy. I don't get the opposition to something like this because I look at it as a way to cut federal funding in certain programs that aren't needed and mostly are usually abused. So instead, you get rid of the abused social policies or social programs, and you have one that is really unable to be abused. It is literally tax money that we already pay coming back to us and then getting taxed again. It's really, that's my argument for it. I could do more, but I don't want to make this video 40 minutes long. So if you have an opinion on universal income, leave it down below. If you're an economist and you really want to enlighten me into the effects of the global economy, please feel free. I would love to hear your opinion. And yeah, until next time, this has been Faded Line.